Hi everyone, this is Installment 6 in the software behind desktop publishing video tutorials. This final installment is all about adding color and special effects to your documents in InDesign to add a little flair and personality to your work. So go ahead and open up InDesign. I have up the document that we made earlier, creating our shapes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color to these guys and get them a little bit more than boring than they are now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is what I showed you guys earlier in the last tutorial about eliminating these the box lines here. So that's under View, Extras, Hide Frame Edges, and now you'll see I have that clean black line that's selected right over here. So the first thing I want to go over with you guys is this little section in your toolbox here, and that is very helpful to you as a quick reference to the colors that you have working in your document at the time. If I was to select this shape here, you'll see that there is no fill, which is this white box with the line through it. That means it's pretty much just transparent. There's no fill to it. But you can see that it has a black stroke or colored stroke over here. And so these will change, of course, as you choose different colors. So a quick and easy way to switch between those when you're doing quick color work is to just tap the X box or the X key on your keyboard, and that'll just swap between these two here. So one thing you can do to change your colors here is just double click on this, and it's going to open up your color picker. And this is one of the most versatile things in the whole program, and you can go through and completely change your color into whatever you want it to be. Click and drag type of thing. It's really quite helpful and easy to use. Another great tool that I like to use is when I pick a color and I know I'm going to be using either that color or a tint or shade of that color frequently throughout the document that I'm using, is I click this button right here, which is Add to CMYK Swatch. And this is basically just going to add this color swatch to your swatches toolbar. So you can do basically just a quick grab of this color and know that you're getting the right color every time. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add it there. So as I have added it, I'm going to hit OK. It has decided to color in my shape as well. So I'm going to show you guys basically your color tools over here. And they should already be lined up on your extras toolbar over here. If they are not, you can customize that again by going into Window, and you'll find them all in here. Under your color palette here, you'll find these different boxes. You can open those and drag them into your thing here, into your side effects toolbar. So this one that looks like all the big checkerboard or whatever is your swatches tools. And so as you can see, oh, I added it twice, I guess. Delete one of those real quick. So you can see that my color swatch that I added, that purple color that I found, is added into here, along with basically the defaults of most color formations are in here. You have your yellow, red, and green, and your blue, and then you also have a couple brights, your blue and your pink. You're just really bright colors that you can get nice variations from. There's also a plain white, and they call it paper. I don't know why, but it's just a white, and then of course your black. And so this is a nice place to either add more colors to as you find them, or just, you know, pick some colors to get a nice starting point for whatever you want to fill your boxes with. Okay, so I'm going to play around. I'm going to add in a different stroke color here other than this black and this purple that I've chosen. And just so that you can really see a different effect, I'm going to do this green. So another great thing is, like with the imported frame boxes that we changed the stroke on, to get a different effect. You can do that on your shapes as well that you create. So I'm going to bump up our stroke, same way as we did in the other one. I can also do it over here in this stroke toolbox. I am going to change my type here to add a different effect. And so one of the things you'll notice is that in some of these, when I increase the weight of my stroke, the line of, so this wavy one for instance, the line of this is not getting thicker. However, the amount of waves that you see is getting, you're seeing less waves in there. So it's not so much, you're not going to get a thicker line in your waves and a couple of others within the type, but you will get a less waved look or a less full hash look like these guys here. Okay, so there's the stroke, and it's, I use these fun ones a lot on anything that has to do with kids. It's fun, they enjoy it, and it's nice. Okay, so let's play around with this guy a little bit. I'm going to give this guy some different colors that we have. And I'm going to use our color bar here with it to demonstrate that to you. So I'm going to pick a color. I'm just going to pick this hot pink color. And I'm going to swap over. I'm going to do both the stroke and the fill in that same color here. And I'm going to keep it on the fill, and I'm going to go over to my color palette, which is basically just this little toolbar that you can change the tint of the color, the hue of the color, and whatnot. So I'm going to drag this, and you see, once I release it somewhere, my color in here has gotten much, much lighter. However, it is still the same color, it's just a lighter version of it. The other thing you notice as dragging is just typing in and hit enter, and it will change your color as well, which makes it easy for you to notice that if you have multiple things that are going to be that same tint, but you can just easily click that to fill that in with the same percentage of hue. Okay, and so let me thicken up the stroke here just to show you how much that actually changed in color by going down 50% in the hue. So that's a nice tool to use. Another great thing is the little eyedropper tool. I use him quite frequently to keep my color palettes the same throughout my work. So all you need to do for that is if you select, so let's say I want this rounded blob shape to be the same as this purple and green up here. So if you select that blob shape and then you click your eyedropper tool, you go ahead and click on that shape. It's going to mimic and do the exact same thing that's on that shape. So you can see I've got the purple, I've got the green stroke, and it's also the wavy type stroke. And so it'll just imitate whatever it is that's there. And you'll see that my eyedropper changed from one side to the other, and it now has this little black fill in it. That means that this shape, this color and stroke that I had selected is now saved within the eyedropper basically. And if I was to go click on this guy here, this guy would also change to that same fill, stroke type, etc. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to undo that so I can show you guys gradient now. Alright, so now that this blob guy is back just to his basic black stroke, I'm going to show you guys how to work with gradients in here. Gradients can be a really nice tool. They're pretty easy to use, which is nice. I'm going to pull out my swatches just so that I can grab those and use my gradient tool simultaneously. So I'm going to go ahead and I just pulled and dragged that purple color. I just dropped it right in here. So you can see you can move these things around fairly easily. You can drag as many colors as you want in here. You can move them around. The top blocks on here is basically your median points, and how rounded out and blended are your gradients that you're creating. You can change the type of gradient. Right now it's linear. You can switch it to radial, which is basically just a circle, which gives a nice effect as well. You can change the location. So if I was to take this guy, I'll make him 25. It's going to change the points in here as well, as I have already moved them. It's going to move them back around. Your angle is just basically the angle that your line is going to. So if I want this at a 90-degree angle, it's going to change it, sideways. And you're going to have the same effect, but it's going to be in a different direction, basically. So gradients are a really effective tool when it comes to certain things, and I recommend that you play around with them and get the hang of them, because they can be kind of confusing in the get-go. Alright, and so again, you can also do gradients in your strokes. So, open up my gradient guy again. Now that my stroke is here, and I'm going to add a pink into him. And basically, it pulls the same colors that I had used in my fill gradient. And now I just added a nice pink to it. And I'm going to basically just fill out the whole center with this pink. And you can see, if I bump up my stroke a little bit, you can see how that gradient has reacted there as well. Alright, so you can get really nice double, almost psychedelic effects when you use gradients in that manner. Alright, so there's all kinds of things you can do with your effects. You can, of course, twist around your boxes like I just did here, creating an extra added effect. You can change your strokes and your fills to add different colors. You can change the type of your stroke to have either a straight line, a wavy line, or all the other presets that you saw in that menu box. You can add gradients like we did here. And of course, any of these gradients you can also add to your strokes in your framed imported images as well. So keep that in mind, because that also adds a nice effect, especially if you're using black and white or monochrome images. Okay, so that is it for installment 6, and I will see you guys all in the next issue.